On the night of the accident, in your mind, how many lights were there outside near the stairway? Outside lights? Possibly one or two that I think I can recall. Do you recall if these lights were on? I think they were, but they were awful dim. Had you been up the stairway at nighttime prior to the date of your wife's accident? Yes. On how many prior occasions had you gone up those stairs at nighttime? Well, I would say from the 2nd to the 9th. What's that, 4 times or something? Was that 4 times you had gone up the stairway, or is that 4 times up and down? Can you break it down for me? Well, no, we went out for dinner at times and breakfast, and we also went out in the evening and came back, so it would be more than 4 times in that 4 days. Are you counting one trip up as one time and one trip up and down as one? One trip up and down would be more than that. It would be about 6 times during the day. We didn't stay in there all the time. I think he's just trying to find out how you classify one trip. Do you classify one trip as going up and down or just going up? Up and down. Okay, so approximately 6 times at nighttime you had gone up and down prior to the accident? I'd say yes. It would be, from the 2nd to the 9th. On these occasions, the 6 times you had gone up and down prior to the accident at nighttime, did you notice any problems with the lighting? They were just dark and dim. On these occasions, did you notice whether any of the lights were not on? I couldn't answer that. You testified that you believed there were 1 or 2 outside lights near the stairway. Do you know the wattage in those lights? No. Prior to the date of the accident, did you ever make any comments to anyone that it was dark there in the stairway? No, I never had any reason to. On the 6 occasions, I was only going to be there a week and then was going to go home. I mean, my friends gave me a place to stay and... There's no question pending. Just answer his questions. On these 6 occasions prior to the accident when you went up and down, your wife was with you. Is that correct? Yes. Objection. I think he said 6 times a day. I think it is an estimate anyway. For instance, if I went out in the morning for breakfast, that would be down and back up would be 1. But that's not at night. Then at dinner time and at night, it would be the same thing, up and down, but it would be for 4 days, so that would be 4 instead of 6. Are you saying you went out every night? Well, yeah, she was in good shape and we went out. We were trying to enjoy ourselves. They were dancing the polka. We liked to square dance. So prior to the accident, you have to forgive me, Mr. Wolf. I am just trying to lighten it up a little bit here. Just to clarify, prior to the date of the accident, you had gone up and down the stairs how many times at nighttime? Well, I would have to say we only went up at night to go in. Every night prior to the accident that you were there, you had gone up the stairway at nighttime. Is that what you're saying? Uh-huh. Is that yes? Yes, 1 time each night. I'm finished for now. I have some questions. Mr. Wolf, you mentioned that you had gone out to dinner prior to the accident. When you had left to go to dinner, was it at night on any of those occasions prior to the accident? It was before night when we went to dinner, before dark. So on the occasions you went to dinner prior to the accident, it was light out on each occasion, is that right? I can't say the light was out, it was dim. No, I am talking about the natural lighting. Oh, the natural lighting. During the daytime, it was light, but when I came home at 8:30 or 9 o'clock, whatever it was dark. Okay, I got that part of it. What I am asking you is, when you left the condo unit to go to dinner on the occasions before the accident, was it the natural lighting? Was it still light out on each occasion? Yes. Okay. He is trying to throw a little light on the subject. How long does it take to get from Yuma to San Diego, approximately? Oh, I'd say about 2.5 hours if you drive 50 miles an hour. Is that what you usually drive, about 50? Yeah, 50, 55. I am retired. I just take it easy. Now, you said the condominium unit was near the ocean. Is that correct? Well, it's a couple blocks off, I'd say, plus or minus half a mile. It's about a half mile away. No, I said plus or minus a half a mile from that 2 blocks. 1/2 mile plus 2 blocks? No, it's within walking distance, but it's a good walk. Could you give me an estimate in maybe feet from the condominium unit to the beach? I'd say about 2 miles. How long? 2 miles. 2 miles, okay. On the night of the accident, do you know which side of the banister your wife went up before she fell? The left side. That's where the banister was. There was no banister on the right side. There was a gap, though, down below the steps, about 5 inches and a half. Okay. On the occasions when you and your wife had used the stairway prior to the accident, had your wife used the handrail on each occasion? Yes, and she complained it was so damn thick. A lady couldn't even get her hand on it. Of course I could, but she couldn't. Did she make any other remarks to you about the stairway prior to the accident other than the thickness of the rail? That's the only thing she ever said, and I heard her saying that one day. Did she ever make any remarks to you before the date of the accident about the lighting? No. You said earlier in your testimony that after the accident you had conversations with your wife where you would ask her, Marie, do you know you fell? Do you remember talking about that? Yeah, that was 4 or 5 months afterwards, not right then. Do you recall asking that question more than one time, or was that just one time? No, I asked her that question every now and then to see if she does remember. How many times did she respond to that question? Well, I'd say maybe 2, maybe 3. Okay. What were her responses to that question on the 2 or 3 times she responded? Well, no, wait. Say that again? Okay, you said you asked your wife approximately 2 or 3 times, Marie, do you know you fell? Well, you asked it more than that, and she responded 2 or 3 times. How did she respond on those 2 or 3 times? Well, I've asked her if she knew that she fell, and she said, yeah, like that. But a little bit later, I had asked her, and she had forgotten. She had memory loss. Okay, she told you that she remembered she fell. Did she ever tell you how she fell? One time in all this, trying to edge it out of her, she mentioned about slipping. Did she say what she slipped on? No, because her memory wouldn't give me any more information. Did you ask her what she slipped on? No, I didn't ask her what she slipped on. I'd have to prompt her for that. To this very day, I don't think she knows. I mean, to give a concrete answer. Okay, when you asked her the question and she responded that she slipped, what was your wife's mental capacity like at that time? Well, I thought it was pretty good for that moment. Well, can you give me a time frame as to when you asked the question and when she responded? Maybe you can use the date of the accident as a reference. I'd say around May the 10th, because we went to the apartment and she was sitting up in the bed and she wanted to know where. She was asking me like she knew there was something wrong. She didn't know where she was, and I had said to her something about, do you remember you had an accident, Marie? And that's when she first told me yes. You said May the 10th. What year are we talking about? 2008. Excuse me. We keep making this mistake. It's May 2009. The accident was August of '08. Okay. You keep saying 2008. Okay. November 2008. It would be May of 2009. You are correct. Okay. And you said you thought your wife's memory was pretty good on this occasion, May 10th, 2009. Well, I wouldn't say it was good, but she was able to remember something, a thought. It isn't that good today. You said earlier in your testimony that you had experienced the steps to be slippery when you had gone up them. Is that correct? Yes. How many times did you notice them to be slippery? Especially in the evening. You're asking me now? I am asking you the number of times. Maybe 5, 6 times. On those 5 or 6 occasions, did you notice what made them slippery? The moisture in the air from the ocean. Anything else that made them slippery? Well, maybe the shoe I was wearing, the rubber soles. I've got a big foot. How are you relating the size of your foot to the slipperiness of the stairs? Well, the steps are just so wide, and my foot is much wider. When I go to put my foot there, my foot covers the step, so I try to bring it back so I don't get my foot caught under the step there. So when I slide my foot back, I could tell that it was damp. You see, you got a step here, and when I put my foot in here, I can't get up, so I've got to pull my foot back to go up. So in your mind, a bigger foot made it easier to go up the stairs? No, it didn't make it easier. It was more difficult because my foot could get caught under the step. So in your mind, a smaller foot made it easier to go up the stairway. I would think so. Okay, thank you. At the time of the accident, what was your wife's approximate weight and height? I think she was about 5'7" or 8. That's approximate. And her weight was 100 and between 125 and 130. She's already about 22 pounds overweight right now. At the time of the accident, do you know what your wife's shoe size was? I think it's about 8.5. That's approximate. On any of the occasions when you were at the condominium unit during this 1-week period, do you remember if it rained? No, not that I know of, not that I recall.